Tales from a Coffee Shop. Volume 1. No one could remember when he started showing up. He was just always there. From the dawn of the coffee shop, there were the tables, chairs, the slightly crooked artwork adorning the walls, the perpetually half-empty display case, Kathy the owner, and him. No one knew his name. He gave a different one with each order, and if anyone tried to get the truth out of him, he'd simply wink. He showed up at 7:37 each morning on the dot. He would walk right up to the counter, order a small black coffee, a blueberry muffin, exchange brief pleasantries with that day's barista, pay in cash, always with exact change, then take his coffee and his muffin to the furthest corner of the shop and sit in a way that did not invite conversation. Over the years, baristas would try to engage with him, and while he was always polite, his body language would make it clear to them that he was not there for chit-chat. He always brought with him a folded newspaper, a journal, some scissors, and some glue. Some days he would spend hours poring over the pages of the newspaper, fascinated by its contents. Other days were more spent cutting various pieces of the paper and gluing them in his journal. Some days were for writing, and some days were for observing both life in the coffee shop and life outside its window. The baristas never figured out what he was doing in that journal of his, but the cover read, "For Clara." Other customers looked at him with pity in their eyes, flashing him a sad smile when their eyes locked with his. That poor lonely man, a businesswoman with an earpiece muttered to herself before her focus was drawn back to the voices in her ear. "I can't imagine how sad your life must be, to come to the same place all alone every day," a flustered mother of two whispered to her small group of stay-at-home mom friends. Everyone who saw him made assumptions about him, his life, and the circumstances that led to him spending his days in a coffee shop alone. But these were just assumptions. If anyone were to look at him closely, they would see a face that told a different story. His eyes weren't glistening with tears, they twinkled with joy. His lips didn't quiver with sadness, they were upturned with a slight smile of pure contentment. If anyone were to break free of societal norms and expectations, they would see a man who loved his time in his favorite coffee shop, working in his treasured journal. They would see a man truly at peace. He left each day at 2:15, always putting almost a full work day of time there. The owner didn't mind that he spent so much time there while spending so little money. His presence was a comfort. Everyone noticed the day he didn't show up. The coffee shop was filled with a restless unease from barista to customers. Eyes darted to his corner waiting for him to appear, but he never did. The next day was the same, and the next, and the next. Weeks went by with no appearance. The customers started to forget. The baristas didn't. Each day they looked for him until a teary-eyed Kathy came in, clutching a newspaper, pointing at a picture of the man. Martin Nathaniel Brown, preceded in death by his beloved wife Clara. Services will be held Friday, April 14th. Not a single dry eye could be seen amongst the small crew of baristas. The coffee shop was closed on April 14th.